Horn, and I'm going to talk a little about Honduras and the problems companies may come into contact with if trying to enter into Honduras. Some general information about the country. The total population is 7.9 million. There are 102 total airports. Main lines total is around 825,000. Internet host total is around 16,000. Internet users total is around 658,000. They have to be 18 years of age to vote and to join the military. The president is Porfirio Lobo Sosa, and the capital name is Tegucigalpa. We're going to discuss the entry modes over the next few slides. The first entry mode is exporting. Exporting is selling goods and services to entities in other countries. Some advantages of exporting include the ability to realize location and experience curve economies, avoid large costs of establishing manufacturing operation in the host country, and it helps the firm know the substantial scale economies from its global sales volume. Some disadvantages of exporting include firms may have a hard time establishing an appropriate location to provide low cost for manufacturing. Exporting bulk can be very costly, and some firms may not be able to afford it, and tariff barriers make exporting uneconomical. Honduras relies heavily on exporting. They export products such as coffee, bananas, timber, seafood, and apparel. Bad news is recent studies show that the country's total exports have declined from $6.046 billion in 2008 to $5.25 billion in the year 2009. Honduras is also known for importing. The country imports products such as industrial raw materials, chemical products, fuels, transport equipment, and food products. Once again, some bad news. Honduras' imports have declined also from $10.39 billion in the year 2008 to $7.57 billion in the year 2009. Next, we're going to discuss tariffs, which is tax on imported products is mostly goods from outside of Central America's common market from 0% to 15%. According to Central American data, the United States has charged a 5% tariff on imported stocks from Honduras. The currency rate in Honduras is Honduras Lepera, and the symbol is HLN. Honduras Lepera is divided into 100 centavos. The exchange rate of imports Lepera to U.S. dollar is 19 to 1. Therefore, one Lepera is around 5 cents in the U.S. Next, we're going to discuss turnkey projects. Turnkey projects means a project in which a firm agrees to set up an operating plant for a foreign client and hand over the key when the plant is fully operational. Some advantages with turnkey projects include the ability to earn returns from process technology skills in countries where the FDI is restricted. Also, once the contractor has finished every element, they turn the key over to the client and the plant is ready for full operation. Some disadvantages with the turnkey projects include most firms that go into this contract don't see a long-term investment in which the country they are in. It does not allow the client to learn all the essential parts of entering into a foreign market. Firms entering into a turnkey project will create well-organized competitors. Licensing is the next entry mode. Licensing agreement is an arrangement whereby the licensor grants the right to intangible products to another country for a particular period, and in return, the licensor receives a royalty fee from the licensee. Some advantages with this entry mode include low-cost development. The licensee does not have to pay the developmental costs and the threats linked with opening a foreign market. Therefore, a firm could possibly have high return on equity. Disadvantages of licensing include does not give tight control over manufacturing, marketing, and strategy, and the lack of control over technology. Fourth is franchising. Franchising is basically a specialized form of licensing in which the franchisor not only sells intangible property to the franchisee, but also insists that the franchisee agree to abide by strict rules as to how it does business. Some advantages with franchising include firms won't have to pay out development costs and threats linked to opening a foreign market. Once again, low-cost development. Disadvantages with franchising include the lack of control over quality and inability to engage in global strategic coordination. The franchisee does not have much flexibility because certain aspects have to be followed with franchising. Fifth is joint venture. Joint venture entails establishing a firm that is jointly owned by two or more otherwise independent firms. Some advantages with joint venture include it splits the cost of developing the business. Partners can brainstorm about the business and gain extra knowledge. It helps to ease the stress because not only one person is in control of the business. Some disadvantages with joint venture include risk giving control over technology to its partner, does not give tight control over subsidiaries that might need to realize experience curve or local economies, and conflict can arise between partners when establishing the firm's goals and objectives. Lastly is wholly owned subsidiaries. In a wholly owned subsidiary, the firm owns 100% of the stock. Some advantages with a wholly owned subsidiary include gives tight control over operations in different countries, may be required if a firm is trying to realize location and experience curve economies. Some disadvantages with wholly owned subsidiaries include high cost development and more stress because the company owns 100% of the stock. Next, we are going to discuss some about the culture. Poverty is a continued problem in Honduras, with the percentage of Hondurans on the poverty line consists of 80%. Hondurans value family first over jobs and everything. Family comes first to them. And when a business understands the culture of the country in which they are doing business, this will help them to succeed. Next is crime. The crime rate in Honduras is very high. Statistics show that 16 U.S. citizens were murdered in 2009, 9 in 2008, 4 in 2007, 6 in 2006, and 10 in 1995. U.S. citizens are also victims of kidnapping, with 5 in 2009, 4 in 2008, and 2 in 2007. The United Nations Development Program reported 4,473 murders in Honduras in 2008, given Honduras with a population of approximately 7.9 million people, one of the world's highest per capita murder rates. Next is investment. An investment in Honduras is low, and according to travel.state.gov, due to the poor regulation and lack of guarantees, investment in Honduran or securities market, as well as banking institutes, bonds, trusts, and certificates of deposit from uninsured financial institutions pose high risk to investors. And also, not too many people are wanting to invest because of the high crime rate and the poverty level in Honduras. Health is another factor. According to statistics, Honduras has the highest adult HIV or AIDS occurrence rate in the region. Over 63,000 people in Honduras have HIV or AIDS. Malnutrition is also becoming a huge problem for this country, and especially in children between the ages of 2 and 5. This goes back to the poverty, because families can't provide for their children the way they'd like to. And many residents in Honduras do not even have access to running water or sanitation conveniences. Honduras is known for tourism. It's not as well known as other countries, but many people know about their beautiful beaches and the fun activities that you can do while visiting Honduras. Recently, tourism in Honduras has declined for various reasons, one including the crime rate. People aren't wanting to go visit, being scared that they might not come back from that trip. So it's declining because the crime is getting very bad. Therefore, with tourism declining, the investment in Honduras is not promising because not much money is being produced within the country. Another problem the country has, and which really hurts investment also, is the natural disasters, such as hurricanes, tropical storms, and earthquakes. And when these storms or earthquakes hit, it takes the country much longer to rebuild and get back on their feet, since it is an underdeveloped country. So investors have to be aware of this, because they could build, but then a natural disaster can come in, wipe it all out, and then it takes a very long time to get back to where you were. For an example, Hurricane Mitch went through Honduras 12 years ago, and people are still trying to get back to the way it was before that Hurricane Mitch went through. And in conclusion, from the research, Honduras is an underdeveloped country that has a high poverty and crime rate within the country. Investments are low. Once again, this goes back to the crime, the national disasters, and the poverty within the country, and tourism is down. So therefore, money is not being produced like investors would want it to be if they were to invest in the country. Exporting seems to be the best entry mode to use into Honduras because of their natural resources such as bananas, timber, seafood, and things like that. And that concludes this presentation.